And I guess that's what you're doing now. We've got this lust for information, and that's what all these YouTube videos, which we're teaching something, are all about. They're great, right? But I worry about the passiveness of that. You see, consuming constantly can put you in a bit of a paralyzed state where you just want more information. So all this information, how to be more productive. You watch those videos, do you get down to work straight after? Do they massively help? Well, I'd love to hear what the best productivity tips that you know about are in the chat, please.
And with the incredible tool that AI is, will we become more of a passenger in this information sharing?
And yeah, I did wonder whether I'd be continuing this through to December. It's absolutely lovely to have this in the morning before work, really get your head straight. I remember a time, it was maybe 2015, maybe it was even earlier than that, 2012 maybe, before smartphones were absolutely ubiquitous, and I'd get home from work and I'd be like looking forward to checking my email. It seems so weird now, doesn't it, when all your emails just come here on your phone. I remember my wife explaining to me when she first wanted an iPhone, well, I want it because I see people, they get their emails on their phone wherever they are. It's like, you know, this inbox became your login for everything. It became your go-to source for information. I do have a mailer, I haven't used it very much. On my website, if you do want to subscribe to that, I will start sending out newsletters, but I promise I won't bombard you.
And I can also promise that it won't ever be written by robots. Although, let's face it, we are going to see AI become such a part of our lives, like the smartphone, that we never imagined could have taken over so much of our lives.
And now we get so much information, we're just constantly being bombarded by notifications. And I remember a time when I would be, during the day, I'd be thinking, oh, I'd love to find that out, I'd love to Google that. Then I'd get home to my computer, which was at that time the only way you could Google something. I'd have already forgotten what I really wanted to know. It's changed conversations, hasn't it? And why do we all crave information just so much? I was fine once upon a time not knowing everything. And now we've got to the point where we see information and access to the internet as almost like a basic human right. To the point of this video now. The other day I jumped into the car and I just craved information. I just wanted to know something. I wanted anything, a podcast, book on tape, just wanted to know something. I wanted to learn something. I wanted to know something. I wanted somebody to tell me something. Maybe it isn't crazy. I just wanted to learn something. And my channel is always going to be about learning. But instead, I pulled over and I actually started writing this script. So it's about consuming versus creating. Content can be so inspiring, but watch yourself that you're actually taking the time to create as well as consume. Because productivity, watching productivity or learning-based videos can put you into this paralysis. Take the time to stop and create. You'll find yourself much more fulfilled. Learn something, then do something with that learning.
And don't expect anything that's created by AI to be as inspiring to consume or to create. You see, it's always going to be about those human connections.
Morning. It's lovely to do this in the morning, yeah? Cheers. This channel is all about helping you have the tools so you can learn anything to overcome any of life's challenges. Videos are great, they're absolutely wonderful, but watch that instinct to just passively consume things and make you feel productive rather than getting down to work. That's the way to be productive. And if you want my latest book, 13 productivity tips, evaluate it and sign up to my email list on the website, and when it's done, I'll send that out to you. And that's the key. By evaluating what you're doing. Evaluating, I've just spent half an hour watching productivity videos. Time to put that stuff into action. Being evaluative is the way to get out of that passive loop and get into that productive loop.
So where we could all get used to seeing AI would be as your sort of personalized second brain. The AI would be something that you would train by showing it the things that are important to you. And as you learn, as you read, as you watch, you would kind of store information in and highlight the most important bits for your use cases. And then you'd be able to ask the AI questions and you'd get personalized AI answers from them. In other words, it would be actually accessing the store of information and knowledge that you had built into it. For personal knowledge management, AI could be huge, and it could be something that we just get used to. It's not just an AI chatbot for booking you something or setting you an alarm, or as you know, if you've ever asked Siri or Alexa a question and you say, tell me about this, it says, here's some things I found on the internet. No, it will be actually providing you a personalized answer to queries based on your own most relevant topics, your own knowledge and your own highlighted knowledge that you've actually taught the AI. So it could be a really powerful thing for the future. The amazing thing about ChatGPT that people are so impressed by at this point is you can ask it specific questions and you can ask it to do specific writing tasks, and it will come with actually fully formed paragraphs or pieces of text. It can't write really long form articles yet, and there are some limitations I'll talk about in the evaluation at the end. But I asked it, for instance, to write a script for this video, write a script for a video entitled Why We All Crave Information So Much. Well, this is what it did. So this next bit is actually going to be from the AI, and also it provided me with prompts as what to put on screen. So I'll use a bit of stock footage, which is something that obviously a computer could go ahead and find, and hopefully I'll be able to recreate the video the next sort of few moments as the AI intended. I also went pretty much full AI here because I also used the idea that ChatGPT had given me and inputted that into OpenAI's other project, which is DALL-E, which makes a full image out of a prompt. And in a way, really AI also picked the music for this whole video, because I've just used the suggestions that Epidemic Sound give me based on what it knows that I like for my YouTube channel. But AI's done a lot of this video. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media for hours on end? Or getting lost in Wikipedia articles about topics you never knew you were interested in? If so, you're not alone. But why do we all crave information so much? Let's explore some possible reasons. One reason we might crave information is because of our innate curiosity. From a young age, we're driven to explore and to learn about the world around us, and this natural curiosity can continue throughout our lives, leading us to seek new knowledge and understanding. Another reason we crave information is because it helps us feel connected to the world. In a world where we're constantly connected through technology, we have access to a vast amount of information at our fingertips, and this can make us feel more connected to others and the events that are happening around us. Information can also provide us with a sense of control. When we have knowledge about a particular topic, we feel more confident and capable of making informed decisions. This can be especially important in situations where we feel ourselves uncertain or overwhelmed. However, it's important to remember that not all information is created equal. It's important to be critical of the sources we consume and to seek out reliable, accurate information. But overall, our craving for information is a natural part of being human, and it can help us grow, connect, and feel more in control of our lives. So the next time you find yourself drawn to the endless scroll of information, remember that it's a natural part of being human, and embrace your curiosity and keep learning. Now actually, that was a pretty good response to the question I asked it, I'm sure you'll agree. It's a bit odd hearing that from a computer in this kind of pseudo-human kind of tone, in a kind of authoritative though and very matter-of-fact tone. We'd all, I think, learn to recognize that kind of AI tone pretty quickly, and I think that's a limitation of the software, that actually, as you listen to that and as you hear that same sort of tone over and over again, I think you'll find that actually you get, oh, hang on, this sounds like it's been written by a robot. You'll sort of realize that some things are written by a robot and some things aren't. And also, if there's AI to write the thing, then there's going to be AI to recognize and also to kind of downvote that in search as well. Lastly, I don't think that all of that it's certainly not the AI's idea. I mean, it's limited to what we program and what we teach the AI. And probably those ideas are actually from the internet, they're from other people's articles, which it's just compiled together and put into a very human-seeming narrative and a human-seeming set of prose. So it's important to remember that it's just a tool, and it might be the sharpest tool in the box for helping you actually write scripts, for helping you write short pieces of text, most usefully probably to help you outline something, to get a few good ideas, to do a bit of research before you actually write and put your own human tone onto something. But remember, it's never going to be able to make new knowledge. Some of the thoughts that I had recently, especially for my own terms as an educator, then we're going to need Vivas to actually confirm what students do know. So people are submitting essays based on things that the chatbots have actually written for them. That's fine, as long as they've learned the stuff, as long as it actually is their own knowledge that they're presenting to you. It's just the bulk of it might have been actually formed by a AI robot. Do they actually understand that is the thing you'd need to check as an educator. Somebody who's assessing them, well, you can assess them by asking them questions. And at the same time, of course, if there's AI to write the scripts, then there could be AI to check the humans have actually understood that. So there could be maybe an AI set of questions, you feed the AI a essay, and then the AI develops a set of questions to actually test the student. Do they actually understand what's been written? That's a possibility as well. The next thing is who pays and who has ownership of this thing. And now at the minute, ChatGPT is free and open source, and the reason for that is because they're evaluating it. They're actually looking at how good is it, how useful is it to talk to, how safe is it to interact with, what kind of ideas does it generate. And people have found that you can actually make it give you false answers. And it says itself in that script, be careful and evaluate the source of information that you get. And I think that's a really valid point, because you can trick it and ask it to give you false answers and it will sort of spit that out. Of course, you should be evaluating everything. Also, one of the things that they point out is it has limited knowledge from a certain time onwards. It had a limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So you're not going to be able to ask it for questions about anything that happened in the year 2022, for instance. And therefore, it is not live searching the internet to bring you stuff back. They've kind of trained it, and then it's able to use what they've trained it on. But this is the thing, I think people will be using these tools and finding different ways of actually doing it. And I've got other videos where I'm going to talk about a bit more about using it for personal use, or maybe using it for business use, which is a very interesting topic. But perhaps it's just one of those things which will change the game massively, and we'll all wonder how we ever did without it in about 10 years. A bit like the smartphone. How on earth did we manage without being able to check the internet at any point whenever we are in the world? There's a really interesting comment from Dylan Hall. I made a little community post about this. I often do little things that interest me, and it's really interesting to read your thoughts about it. Dylan said, ChatGPT is trained to sound authoritative, which works well for technical information, but real humans don't write with that much authority when writing when it comes to philosophy or non-trivial technical information. So I think that's a really interesting point. Humans don't write with that kind of authoritative tone at all times, and that's probably a good thing. So you can ask it philosophical questions and it's going to turn you out something very authoritative and matter of fact, and it's not going to therefore be as useful. So we're just going to have to get used to having information presented to us by AI, I think. And you look for a certain information, it's going to give you a tailored response, it's going to learn what types of responses that you find useful and which ones you don't, and it's going to be able to really be a useful tool because of that for getting information. It's going to be seamlessly integrated into search engines very shortly, I'm sure. I mean, there already is a certain amount of AI in search engines in the way they're presenting you information. What's very interesting is the trustworthiness of this information, especially in a kind of post-truth world. Can AI ever be a judge of what is true or what is useful? Well, no, it can only actually get hold of information from what we choose to digitize. So it's never going to be able to know what we're thinking. It's never going to be able to hear our conversations if we don't choose to digitize those in some way. It might just be a microphone in your pocket listening, but if we don't choose to digitize the things, then the computer can never learn those things. So there is always going to be a bit of a disconnect between the digital space and the sort of physical space. And there's this example of a chatbot that they used Twitter to kind of teach this chatbot everything that it was going to know, and the chatbot ended up getting some very horrid racist views because of what it was fed on Twitter. So it actually learned the truth that Twitter presented it. And yeah, Elon, just step down, just end Twitter if you don't mind. I think we'd all be happy with that. Let me know if you feel the same in the comments. So lots of people worrying about how it can be used to cheat, but for instance, one of the things that's impressed me so much about ChatGPT is using it to actually outline lesson plans. So a couple of things I asked it, the best way to tackle GCSE physics electrical circuit problems. It actually gave me a pretty good lowdown, step-by-step, 7 points, which I'll put on the screen over here, 7 points which you can actually follow to solve any GCSE circuit problems. And I could actually, well, I would translate that a little bit into student speak for my students, but actually if I wanted to say, gosh, my kids aren't understanding how to solve circuit problems, then actually this is a pretty good rundown of what I should teach them to be able to do. So for me as a physics teacher, and especially what I do sometimes is help other physics teachers learn how to present those problems well, actually this is a very useful resource for them to be able to just ask a chatbot which has access to all this knowledge, what's the best way to explain a thing? It's useful. This is a really useful tool. It's one we'd be mad to ignore. It's not something to be scared of. So if in 10 years you're consuming some videos and they seem like they're robotically delivered information, then it might just be a robot delivering some information, and that's fine. If you need that information, then great, get the information and get out and leave and don't worry about it. But if you were really there to be entertained, then or edutained, then you're going to maybe look to a human that's actually presenting some information to you, and put up with the ums and the ahs, but look forward to the occasional bits of that kind of brilliance and warmth that only humans are going to be able to do. So another note from my comment on the community post was from eWritable, said, "It's not good enough to write full essays or articles, and if it doesn't have the data, it just makes stuff up." So its factual accuracy needs to be checked. But as a writing assistant, it saves a tremendous amount of time and it can help overcome writer's block. So if you've ever got that sort of blank page feeling where you're not sure where to start, you're not sure how to structure, well then it's okay to think, give me an outline for an article about this. And then it will give you an outline and then you can fill that in. You can even ask it if you need to write you the specific paragraphs, but you're still the kind of composer. I've heard that said a lot. You're still the person putting the thing together and curating that information which the ChatGPT has given you, the AI has given you. And eWritable, by the way, is an excellent website for comparing Eink tablets, so do go over there. And you can put your own joy and emotion into those outlines. So thanks everyone for your insight on that post, and be on the lookout for posts like that. It's a great way to influence this content of my channel. And thanks so much, because I'm really grateful to have you all in the audience to all of my videos. And next, I just want Adobe to give me some more AI tools to speed up editing workflows so I can put out the content a bit more quickly. And so you should make content. You should love making content and you should love consuming content. You shouldn't just be looking forward to handing it off to the AI. You should love thinking and you should love learning. As long as you still do that, we won't just hand over everything to the AI. This is just another research and planning tool, and you should learn to be the master of it.